okay, it's alright. Won't be with
Alright, what's up? What's up? Back with you. Thank you for coming back through. So today we are gonna have a look at something I've been waiting on a long time, man. These are grails for me. I remember being on the OSD show with my people Sean and D and everybody in the crew. Jesse, what's up? Um, I remember being on that show when these announced, and these were first spotted on a website. I forget what website we were breaking. Um, we saw them and everybody freaked out. At the time, the Ultra Boost 1 was still all the rage, and here came this shoe that had a similar look to the upper, and it had this 3D printed midsole. And we went bananas. At least I know I did, because I was an Ultra Boost fan, tried and true. This shoe was one that I thought was so futuristic, like we had reached a pinnacle of what Adidas was doing with Prime Knit, the 3D printed technology, or what they were calling 4D. It was just amazing. And so I knew that in years later, when they started to release some of the 4D technology at a more reasonable rate, because let's face it, these kicks was going for thousands online because people could not find them. So when these shoes started to release in a consumer capacity that was a little more reasonable, I knew then that I was going to be trying to slowly get my hands on a pair. Now I got some of the subsequent pairs, but this pair right here, man, this is the business. Futurecraft 4D. Yes, the actual Futurecraft 4D. Man, yo, I've been waiting for this shoe to release for so long. In its original makeup, there were obviously others that came before it in some more prototype senses. Then they had the releases, the actual releases that came out. Then later, we were introduced to the Alpha Edge and the Alpha Edge 2, and then the Ultra 4D. And we're going to talk about all of those and kind of compare them. But this one right here, oh my goodness. Let's talk about that upper. Classic Ultra Boost-esque upper, Ultra Boost 1. You'll see that a lot of the makeup of that upper is very, very classic Ultra Boost 1, or what is now being called Ultra Boost DNA. Midsole was I think, closer now to what you will see on the Ultra 4D, which is actually the consumer model Ultra Boost 1 upper with the plastic cage, and then the 4D technology. So it's kind of difficult just at first glance to know if you are getting the original makeup of the shoe or if you are getting the now consumer remixed version of the shoe. And you'll see what I'm talking about when we compare them side by side. But what I also want to do is show you this. eBay is doing a certified authenticity program similar to what you see from others who do reselling of shoes. So GOAT has their program, and a few others have the same thing, and they come with their tags, and that's going to start to be a thing. Well, right now, eBay is doing that for free. But I assume that by them offering and calling out the fact that they're doing it for free, they are going to be doing it as a paid service now, or a little added benefit if you're worried about the authenticity of your shoe. You first purchase your shoe on eBay, and it will come with a notice that talks about authenticity. Now, this adds some shipping time into the mix. So it first has to be shipped to an eBay authenticator, and then it will get shipped to you. So that's going to add a couple of days. They do FedEx it to you, and they overestimate the time it's going to take to get to you. So I appreciate that, but there's that added step. Anyone who's purchased off of GOAT knows that that's the case also. You open the box, meet your soulmates, authenticity guaranteed. So now people are more and more admitting that unauthorized kicks are making it to the market. So we're no longer complaining about the quality of unauthorized kicks. We are now just getting into the fact that if you can authenticate, then let's please authenticate. The Futurecraft 4D, prime knit upper, sitting on top of what I would call an original 4D, although I'm going to say it is closer now to what is being used on running models in the 180 to 200 range that are offering the 4D technology, namely the Ultra 4D, that kind of pale mint coloring. I'm not sure if it's coming through because of the lighting that we have, but it's a beautiful, beautiful combination. You've got the 3 stripes, which are just painted on, no cage. So this is that cageless look that became very popular. Inside, oh man, Futurecraft. Now, again, other models have been called by other things. And we've had the Alpha Edge, which became the sort of descendant of the Futurecraft. But there is only one Futurecraft. On the bottoms here, you see that kind of unique tread pattern. Some of the things are knobby and smooth, others in the area of high traction, namely the big toe and the heel, the crash pad on the heel. You can see that those are more articulated. That is the original Futurecraft look. I can tell you that on wet pavement, these do get a little bit slick, but these are definitely meant as a sort of prototype shoe. So when these shoes dropped, they were meant for pretty straight ahead strolling on dry concrete, because the most important thing was the 3D printed midsole that they are going to be developing more and more for runners and not just for style. It's always been said that it's a running shoe, but we know that it's mainly a style shoe. It's mainly a prototype. Adidas does a great job at prototyping future technologies. But now they've gotten into the newest 4D model, which is the 4D FWD, or the 4D forward. And that one seems to be a little more prone to running, to actual running. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about these right here. All right, so let's get into a little bit of comparison. So let's start at my entry point, which was the initial Alpha Edge 4D in the white. Amazing shoe. Had some things that needed to be improved, had some quirks. It's all right. I mean, you know, when you're doing prototype shoes, some things are gonna just happen that way. The collar of that shoe was a little bit tight, a little bit tough to get on, but you'll see that from the Futurecraft, they actually expanded the look, the thickness, the height, the stack height of the tooling. The forefoot was a little bit more engaging because it gave you a little bit more of that 3D printed material. The heel sections of the shoe had a little more stack in that lattice work. The knit was actually very, very stiff, reinforced here by the stitching. Lacing again went through some reinforcements there. I've always loved the tongue tab on these. It's reflective, along with that back stripe also being reflective. Beautiful, beautiful shoe. These aren't bouncy though, okay? They're not soft and cushy in feel. And you'll see that has the original insole in it, but the next one I'll show you, I actually put a TPU insole in that kind of mimicked the Boost material. So next up, we moved to the Alpha Edge 2, a little more lacing, a little more reinforcement. Same midsole tooling, so they didn't change that. Gave the heel some reinforcement. Same tongue and back stripes, so those are the things that I love that came along with. The mesh, that prime knit material, was a little more forgiving than the original one, although with the same pattern, as you can kind of see right there. But on this one, I went ahead and put in a TPU insole to get some of that boost feel and soften up the ride. Now we get into that comparison I was talking about. Here's the Ultra 4D. You can see that modernized midsole tooling, that 3D printed 4D tooling. Again, I think that the tooling that we're getting on the new Futurecraft release is closer to this than it is to the original that was originally seen in the prototype and in those first early releases. But you can definitely see the influence of the Ultra Boost 1 on what would be the Futurecraft upper. That knit is almost exactly the same. The only difference is being the cage, which is fully an Ultra Boost thing, and then also the heel counter. That heel counter is distinctly an Ultra Boost 1, and the Futurecraft never did have that heel counter, which is something that I really liked in separating and distinguishing the shoes from each other. But as we get close in on it, you can see a little bit of that tooling being the same. Wait a minute. I am discovering a little something here, and I'm going to leave that in the video because I want you all to discover it with me. I do believe that this one is the new midsole tooling that they've been using on the newest 4D models. It's closely related to the original Futurecraft, but the way that that heel crash pad lattice work is made, you can definitely see a difference. And so I'm thinking that maybe they did mimic or recreate the original Futurecraft look a little bit closer. We're gonna check out these tread patterns. There you got the tread pattern on the Alpha Edge, tread pattern on the Alpha Edge 2, same there. The paw print shaped pods there. Then you get into the lattice work of the Ultra 4D. This one by far is my favorite. The grip is amazing. It uses some of that weave technology that Adidas was using in some of their runners without the torsion bar. So that tension weave would actually tighten up when the shoe flexes. And then you get to the original Futurecraft look there on the bottom. All in all, a really impressive lineup. I love how Adidas constantly puts their foot forward, pun intended, on new technologies and giving it a try. I'm really glad that they brought this one to market. I missed the original release, so I checked out eBay and happened to get box price plus shipping and then the authentication. So really stoked about that. If you're looking for a pair, do not go reseller prices. These are available. I got these for, like I said, I think I paid box plus shipping. So yeah, they can be had. Be smart about your consumerism. It doesn't have to be rampant, but I do love these. I'm super happy that I got these. The Futurecraft 4D from Adidas, the original one. As always, thanks for rocking with me, y'all. I really appreciate it. Keep coming through. We'll keep reviewing these shoes, all right? Peace.
It's okay, it's alright.